Reflections from my week in Tulsa.
Week in Tulsa.
So, Alan, you recently had the opportunity to go to a real estate conference
Yep.
in Tulsa.
Yep.
Tell me a little about it.
So it was layered. I went to NARAB. So NARAB is National Association of Real Estate Brokers. And it is one of the only associations that's for Black real estate agents. And people may say, well, why do you have a real estate association for Black agents versus all other agents? Is because it was necessary. In 1947, I believe, the National Association of Realtors was established. They form associations so realtors can basically do business together, right?
Mhm.
So you can share information. Well, Blacks were excluded from that, and it required that we start our own national association, which was NARAB. I believe it was like 4 or 5 months after the NAR was formed.
Mhm.
Well, NAR didn't allow Black real estate agents in until 1964, right? And the first real estate agent that was let into NAR is actually still alive, Ben Slayton. We've done an interview with Ben Slayton before,
Mhm.
but um, it just was a really good reminder of like the head start that a lot of people have gotten in the United States,
Mhm.
right? You got to think about it. And I've talked to my dad about this, and I've recorded some stories about this back as late as like the early 90s. There was still rampant discrimination here in Virginia when it came to
Mhm.
housing. And if we don't start to highlight and focus on where we've been, then we can't really make sure that we make the same mistakes of where we're going. So that really was what the conference was about. It was about closing the gap. Black ownership is at its lowest rate in a long time. It's below 50%, like 48%.
48, yeah.
White home ownership is like almost 80%, right?
Mhm.
There are a lot of other ethnic groups that are outpacing Black homeowners as well. So it's some things that, we just got to get better at, some things that we got some barriers that we have to remove. And, I always felt that, there's something to asking other people to fix your problem, but it's more empowering if you go about trying to fix your problem yourself.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of people there that were just trying to fix a problem, right? Black home ownership. It just so happened that it was in Tulsa.
Yeah.
And Tulsa, if you have not done the research, if you have not heard about the story, I encourage you to do so. It was about the Greenwood. It's the Greenwood district, and it's the Greenwood district is known for two things. Number one, it was the most. They called it Little Africa. Back in the early 1900s, right? It was a 40-acre plot purchased by I believe O.W. Gurley. You guys can look that up. 40-acre plot that he turned into the Greenwood district. Over 300 Black-owned businesses. And again, people are like, well, why do you have Black-owned businesses versus white-owned businesses? The person who asked that question obviously does not read history, right? And can't contextualize history. There were no businesses for us to do business with.
Mhm.
We had to go in the back door. We didn't get good services. Like it's still a lot of things that are going on. Imagine what it was like in 1900, 1910. That was the necessity. But they built out Greenwood to this vibrant place that recycled the dollar. There was a lot of like just Black business and this ecosystem that was
Mhm.
like unheard of during those times. There were other small enclaves, but Greenwood, aka Black Wall Street, was the epitome of it. And in 1919, they had a massacre. And if you read the history books, there were a lot of like town burnings and massacres. The KKK was rampant, and they basically firebombed like 40 blocks of businesses.
Mhm.
Up to 300 people, killed. It was being on that land and feeling and hearing the story of descendants was
Mhm.
heartbreaking and also purpose defining for who we are and why we do business. I stand on the shoulders of both sides of that story, right? The triumph, the heartbreak, and the rebuild, and the tear down. And we represent the buildup, we represent the foundation, but we will never, ever. And it was important for me to make that pilgrimage, and that's what I called it,
Mhm.
um, to realign. right? And to
Yeah.
never forget. So it was heavy, man. I was there for, 4 days. It was super important as the leader of an organization that looks like us for us to
Hmm.
understand where we come from, and also to tell the story, right? Because
Yeah.
if we don't tell the story, then who will tell the story?
That was good.
Was that it?
That was a
Was
great
that good?
reflection. Well, that reflection wraps everything up,
Right.
guys. So, if you want to learn more about Greenwood and Black Wall Street, definitely go ahead and look that up. It's an important part of history, and I just encourage everyone to kind of do their homework. So, with
Yeah.
that being
One more
said,
thing, like it's your responsibility, it's our responsibility to support Black-owned businesses. It's
mhm,
our responsibility to connect, to reconnect. I've always said, and I said this really early, and I'll speak to two segments, people who are pro, like understand why Black
mhm,
business is important, and also to those people who don't understand it, right? Um, Black business is American business, right? So the
mhm,
stronger our ethnic classes are economically, the stronger America is. And that's one thing that I don't think a lot of people
mhm.
understand. And then for people who are pro Black
Yeah.
business, you can't just say you're pro Black business. You got to be about the referring, about the, giving the grace, about seeking out, about, connecting and aligning, and about spending your dollar,
Mhm.
right? The great thing about Greenwood is their dollar recycled, they said 38 times in their community. I will charge us, especially during this time, during these times, how many times can we recycle our dollar? Right? And how many people are willing to go work with a Black business because they understand where we were and want to help us get to a better place,
Yeah.
right? So it was impactful. I encourage you guys to go out to Tulsa and visit Greenwood. It's super impactful. But we can create what we need to create right now, so it never ever happens again. All right.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Alan.
Yep.
So,
You have the dream.
we have the
See
address.
you guys soon.